been some time since I've done a video, so I thought I would first of all start by recapping with the Excel sheet what I use to help me pick my bets or trades. What I do is I record all the results of the Football League. This is the UK League, by the way. At the moment there's not a lot of data for the Premier and the Championship, but the Division 1, Division 2 and the National League, we've got to the point now where the data starts to kick in. Once I've recorded all the scores, I've then got all these other sheets which lead from this main sheet. So for instance, I've got the first and last goal, I've got the stats. What this one does is basically, I'll scroll down to one of the other ones, so it tells you how many games they've played. This is the home and that's the full time. How many games they've played, how many goals they've scored, goals conceded, the games they've scored in, and the games they've conceded in. I'll come back to this 8-team match in a minute. We've got the first half goals, second half goals, goals in general. What that does is, again, I'll just scroll down. I'll just pick Wimbledon because that's the top. They've played 3 home games at the moment. They've had a 0-0. They've scored 2 goals in 2 games. I pick on Blackpool. So Blackpool again, they've had 3 home games. First of all, they've scored in every game. I can tell that because they haven't had a 0-0. They've scored 1 goal in 1 game. They've scored 2 goals in 1 game, and they scored 3 goals in 1 game. This is just a same thing but in percentage terms. Again, I keep it over for 1.5 and over 2.5. Both teams to score. I've got one where it can do the table, so that's the home table, away table and the full-time table. I also keep the last 6 games for the Championship and the Premiership. Now I only did this Premiership and Championship and Premiership purely because this was just for trading. I found out that Leagues 1, 2 and the National League, especially on a Saturday, if you're trading there's not a lot of liquidity, whereas the Championship and Premiership there normally is. This is something that I might add to a later date. So this is the last 6 games. Obviously there's only been 3 games played at the moment, so these statistics I won't take notice of at the moment. I like at least to be 8 games played, 4 home and 4 away. So I'll just go back to these 2 game sections here. I called it 80% because when I first started doing this I was after a second half goal which was 80%. That's the reason why. Since then I've added over 1.5, over 2.5, both teams to score, the first goal and the last goal, and this last section here is basically where they sit in the table. So these are the games coming up this weekend, which is I think it's the 13th. That's Saturday the 13th. Obviously, like I said earlier, the Premiership and Championship, there's not enough data yet for these to take account, so we'll just scroll down a little bit and ignore those. So that's Division 1 games. What it tells me, first of all, these are things what's happened in the past. It's not necessarily telling me what's going to happen in the future. It'd be too easy if that was the case. But it gives me, like this one here is a second half goal. Mansfield Stevenage just give me 83%. There's going to be a second half goal. Over 1.5, over 2.5, both teams to score. As you can see, they're all the figures. I can also alter these, so if I wanted 80%, which was originally, it would update it. If I wanted 50%, it will change it. Same for over 1.5, so if I wanted 75 I get more, or if you wanted say 90 it would just highlight though. Obviously, like I said, the Premiership ones, the data's no good at the moment. Let's scroll down and then I've got a more selective one. And same for 2.5, so let's go, I don't know, say 60%. It will put it over anything over 60%. Let's revert that back to 75. And then once I've highlighted whichever game I wanted, we'll pick Bradford Huddersfield, since that's a big match this weekend. It gives all my stats there. If I wanted, I can go into even more detail. But if I click on the match, then up here, I can just put whatever team I want in. So Bradford's the home team, Huddersfield's the away team, but you know, I can change whatever teams it is. Then it gives me a little bit more detail on just this game. For instance, everything in yellow there is the home statistics. Obviously is that blue? Aqua? I don't know what you call that. Is the away statistics, and in the middle is statistics for the season. So the first one is the table. So at the moment, Bradford at home are third in the table. For the season, they're fifth. For the away, Huddersfield, they are 11th in the table, but for the season they are third. So obviously that's telling me straight away that Huddersfield are a better home side than the away side at the moment. Which I know this by looking at that as well. Bradford have played 3 and won 3 at home. Huddersfield have played 3, won 1 and lost 2. This section here tells me what goals they've scored. So this is just for the team, not for the game. So at the moment, Bradford have scored twice, and they scored 3 goals once. Huddersfield, when they've played away, although they've only won 1, they've scored in every away game. This section here is the over 1.5, 2.5. This is scored by the team. So again, that goes back to these goals earlier. So at the moment, like I said, they've scored 2 twice and once 3, so they've got 100%, 1.5, and also they've got 33% because they scored 3 goals in one game. Both teams to score, well, that's obvious. It's both teams to score 100%. So even though they've won every home game, they've also conceded every home game. This section here would be for the match. So every home game that Bradford have had has been over 1.5 and over 2.5. Every away game Huddersfield have had has been over 1.5 is 100% and over 2.5 is 67%. And again, in the centre is for the season, home and away. On the bottom bit here, you've got the second half goal and how many points they've got per game. So like I said, Bradford have got 100% record at home, so again they get 3 points for every home game. Huddersfield away has only got 1 point. And this section here is basically all that easier to see. When I first started doing this spreadsheet, the reason why I did it, I was going to trade the under 2.5s, and that's why I started to do the goals. So the average first goal between these two should be around about 21-22 minutes, and the last goal is around about 78-79 minutes. Like I've already said, these statistics is what's happened in the past, not what happens in the future. So obviously Bradford against Huddersfield is a top game this weekend, and these are statistics what they've played. So obviously they might have played against weaker teams. So when they come against each other, even though it's telling me that this looks like an home win to me, in that Bradford have scored in every game, they've won every home game. But you've got to be careful because, like I said, Huddersfield, even though they've only won one game, have scored in every away game. So this might be a case of two top teams cancelling each other out, and actually, even though it's predicting goals, like over 2.5, it's predicting 83%, over 1.5, 100%. It's a possibility, especially with it being a local derby as well, that this could be a bar draw or maybe just one goal in it. We'll have to just wait and see. If you see this video after the 13th of September, maybe you can just check it out and just see how accurate it was. But once you've highlighted a game, what else I can do, I can go back into the scores and just see who they've played. So we'll go for Bradford are playing at home. So this is Bradford here. So this is all their home games. So they've played Wimbledon at home. It was 1-1 at half time, 3-2 at half time, and they scored in the 25th and 83rd minute. They also played Luton, and they won at Luton 1-0, 2-1, and Wycombe 2. So they've played three decent teams already, and they beat all three of them. And again, you can look at Huddersfield away team. So that's the Huddersfield away. So they've played away at Barnsley and lost 2-0, 3-1 at full time. Away to Blackpool 3-2, 3-2. So there's been plenty of goals in their away games. Just highlight it, of course, yeah. And they've also played Reading away. That's only, sorry. And that's the only time they've won. 0-0 at half time, 0-2 at full time. They scored in the 74th and 93rd minute. So again, it took late on in the second half before they actually scored goals. So this is what I do. This is what I use my predictions. If you wanted me to go into a bit more detail of what the sheets do or any of these other side sections, just drop me a note and I'll do another video on it. Also, if you see something in here what doesn't look quite right or something I can improve on, please again just let me know and I'll do that. And basically any advice of things that I can maybe add, what might help me out. I also would really appreciate it if you can just give it a like and subscribe to this video. I haven't really paid much attention to this channel in the last couple of years really, because it was a bit of a joke for me doing this in the first place. But in the future I would like to get back into this and try and grow the channel, so any help you can give me will be gratefully received. Thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.